All right, let's go to the Indianapolis Colts. Reasons for concern for the Colts.
I guess we still don't know what Anthony Richardson is yet.
Yeah.
We got a few games and they looked, encouraging, but it's not like they were overwhelming that, we've seen, a couple of games, 3-4 games from young players, and those have sort of set you off in a misleading direction, right? Sam Darnold's put it all together. It's his time. Next year he's going to be amazing. Richardson didn't even show that. Right? They weren't even like overwhelming 3 or 4 games. You were like, okay, he's definitely the guy. We're set. We're good. We saw some flashes. We saw some potential. And then he got hurt and Gardner Minshew came in and was arguably better for last year. So, if Richardson is not the player that he flashed or threatened to be, then, you rewind a bit and you sort of go, okay, we're talking about maybe the most impressive athlete to come into the NFL at the quarterback position ever. The last one of those guys you would identify probably would have been Cam Newton, who, again, if you'd seen the video before it got taken down, you would know. You go back to that Auburn season, Cam Newton on his own basically dragged Auburn to a national title and just was completely unstoppable individually. Forget who he was throwing to, forget anybody else. Cam Newton on his own turned Auburn into a national champion. Richardson didn't even make Florida noticeably better necessarily. It's like, if he's that special, why did it not look like that? So that, I think, is what you come back to in year 2 with Anthony Richardson. Like, okay, he's an amazing athlete and he can do some special things, but what if the net of all that doesn't actually make the Colts much better?
Yeah, the thing I would add there is Richardson's playing style. He wasn't just hurt once last year. He was hurt multiple times in just a few games. And the positives that I had for Richardson coming out is what he opens up as a runner. That opens up the pass game. Shane Steichen, as head coach, is going to lean into that ability in the designed run game. However, as I've said many times on this show, QB health often comes down to playing style and whether or not you're going to take hits or not. And I don't care how big you are, lowering your shoulder and taking those hits, that does add up. So I think playing style-wise, to maximize what Richardson brings to the table, he's going to have to adjust that a little bit. That's a reason for concern.
Yeah, last year was like the worst-case scenario of that approach of quarterback play, right? You take a guy like that, you need to use him as part of the run game because it's part of what makes him so special, just like it was with Cam Newton and how it is with Josh Allen. The reason for concern with that is that style exposes those quarterbacks to more hits, and if they're able to get through that, fine. But immediately, Richardson was hurt badly multiple times playing that style. Like, it couldn't go worse in terms of that approach. Like, if we're going to play that, our quarterback got hurt almost immediately and was taken out of the game. That's worst case scenario. That's an absolute catastrophe. If that's going to be him long term, we now need to change our offense. We need to dump the style, and we need to turn him into something that currently he is not. Now, he's closer to that than maybe people would expect him to be. And he actually kind of wants to play that style, but it still leaves stuff it leaves meat on the bone, right? If you ask Josh Allen to stop being Josh Allen, he's not what he is. Like, it fundamentally changes the ceiling, I think, of that player. So if you have to completely change expectations for what you can expect Anthony Richardson to do because he's going to get hurt playing that way, that changes the outlook for the Colts.
I'll add the cornerback room again. Last year they went in there with no experience whatsoever, had a bunch of big, long, athletic corners. They played okay.
Just the defense. Like, what if all of the crazy athletes on defense don't actually amount to good football players?
But I just think the cornerback room in particular, they still weren't great last year. Juju Brents and Dallas Flowers, the guys that they have pegged as starters, Jalen Jones, Darrell Baker, still inexperienced without great play on the on film over the last couple of years. I think the defensive line should be pretty good, but you're right. The defense is, pretty good on paper. So your reasons for concerns for the Colts.